y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pi for those that do not know, and I am going to be reviewing Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 5. We are almost there. One more episode after this one, and that will wrap up the 6 that dropped on Valentine's Day. And then 6 more, I believe, are going to drop on the 21st, which is Wednesday. So yeah, a week from Valentine's Day. I'm thinking that 6 more is going to drop. They usually drop 4, so this is new for them to drop 6. And whew, this is a lot to review. So before I get into the review, if you haven't already, if you could please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Liking the video helps push the video out into the algorithm. So don't forget to do that before you guys get up out of here. And let's get into this review. So I feel like this episode didn't have much going on. It kind of is like a wrap up. It wraps it up. We see them go off to the Dominican Republic. So the episode starts with Chelsea getting ready to go into her date with I keep mixing Jeremy and Johnny, with her date with Johnny, or, well, actually, yeah, or, what's the other guy's name? Trevor. I like Trevor. Poor Trevor. So that's where the episode starts, and of course, y'all already know. I felt this coming on, but she goes on a date with Jimmy first. Goes in her date with Jimmy. So she goes in the pods, and Jimmy is already in there. And remind you, Trevor is sitting in his pod, and he's waiting there. They're both sitting there waiting, trying to see. They're building anticipation for us to see which one is she gonna decide to go in. Of course, we all should know that it's gonna be Jimmy, right? Because I feel like she always wanted Jimmy, and she was just keeping Trevor on the side just in case Jimmy decided to pick Jessica. So she goes in the room with Jimmy. We see that he is going to go ahead and propose to her. And of course she says yes. And they're both excited. And I feel like she was on this high until he, walked out of the room, and he's like, I'll see you at the reveal. I can't wait to see you. And once he left out of the pod, she was like, you could see it just like come all over her. Like, I gotta freaking break this news to Trevor that it ain't you. Sorry, not sorry. So she goes and she delivers the news to Trevor. She walks in the pods, and he hears the door open, and he's like, Chels? And she's like sniffling, and he's like, yes. And he was like, how are you? And she was like, I'm okay. And you can see the concern on his face, like, don't sound like it. And she just goes right into it, but very slowly. She's like, I'm just so emotional right now, and you're such a great guy. And he's like, this is not sounding positive. Are you building suspense, or is this going the way that it's sounding? And she's like, I just can't give you all of me right now. So Trevor is like, is it because you've given it to someone else? And she says yes. So he's like asking all these questions, like, well, what would have happened if I would have came in first? And I just would have went straight into my marriage speech, guns blazing, with, is something like that could have changed your mind? And she doesn't really answer. And so he was like, I had a really good speech too. And they both kind of like laughed a little bit or whatever. And so he said, I just don't understand. Like, you, and he asked her, did she have a reason for picking Jimmy? And she was like, no. And he said, so I don't get it. I don't understand. You chose someone who was interested in another girl versus someone who was 100% interested in you. And she was like, you just don't understand how difficult this decision was for me. And then Trevor is still like, well, have you already told him yes? And she was like, yes. And he was like, well, what if I would have went first? Would that have changed your mind? And she doesn't answer the question. I'm like, Trevor, baby, please listen. In the words of Laura, that's not your woman. Just let it go. And so he's like, I just didn't even, I was so optimistic. You saying no didn't even cross my mind. Like, so I'm like not even prepared to handle this right now. So he told her that I just need to cry because I don't want to go out there. I'm going to sit in here for a minute so you can leave. And she was like, I just really need you to know that this was difficult for me. He's like, bye, Chelsea. Girl, bye. I'm done talking to you. You wanted Jimmy, you got Jimmy. Good riddance and goodbye. So I felt so bad for him. Trevor was a nice guy. But moving on, we immediately pan over to Jeremy and Sarah, and he's getting ready to break up with her and give her his immediate breakup speech because I've never in my life seen someone on Love is Blind say, hey, how you doing? Well, listen, I really need to just tell you that I have decided that I'm gonna move forward. And she finished the sentence with him, with the other person that you're dating. He was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. She's so nonchalant about it. And he's like, you're a really, nice girl. We had a good connection. She's like, thank you. Thank you. He was like, you're amazing. She was like, thank you. Never seen someone so nonchalant in my life. It was so funny. But she did say, what was the deciding factor? And he was like, I mean, there isn't like really anything other than the fact that our banter could be a bit much sometimes. And she says, well, is there anything that I could have done to change that? And he was like, no, nope, not at all. And I'm thinking, like, is it me or are these people like trying to convince these people to change their mind? Their minds are already made up. I would not do all that. I think I would just be like, okay. In the words of Shawnee O'Neal, thank you for your services. I'll be out of there. Well, she goes into the women's quarters, and of course, Laura is sitting right there because production probably said, hey, she's getting ready to come. Sit right here with your coffee and your tea so you guys can have a raw reaction when she walks through the door. Because I think it's just so funny that Laura is the only person that's sitting right there waiting for her. But you know what? Now that I think about it, Laura did have her date with Jeremy next. So maybe it was like that. Maybe Laura was the only person that was there at that time because she was waiting on her date. So I guess that could have happened. So anyway, so Sarah walks through the door and Laura is sitting right there and she was like, it's you. And Laura's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Which I'm thinking, what do you mean, oh no? And so she was like, yeah, it's okay. Um, and they give each other a hug and she asked her, if they had a heart to heart, and Laura's like, we always have heart to hearts. And they tell each other that they love him. They were very mature about the situation. Laura's like, you deserve someone who, chooses you 100%. And I totally agree. But at this moment, Laura, I don't want to hear it from you. You're the last person I want to hear that from because he chose you over me. So, like I said, they give each other a hug. They say, I love you. And then next we see Laura is off to her date with Jeremy. And he gets right into it, letting her know that last night, did he say last night? No, he didn't say last night. That was at the reveal. So, yeah, actually, he did. He said, I decided last night that you were my person. That's what he did say. He said, I decided last night that you were my person. And he proposes to her, and she says, yes, of course. And the funny part about this scene is Laura says, oh my God, did I just find my baby daddy? And then he mocks her and says, you just found your baby daddy? And I'm like, what? Why did you just say that? My baby daddy. That is your fiance, about to be your soon to be husband if you all decide to get married. That is not your baby daddy. Why are you saying that like that? I don't know. That was just, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It could be me, but let me know what y'all think. So we now have our fourth couple that is engaged, and it's time for Laura and Jeremy's. I'm sorry, not Laura and Jeremy. It's time for Chelsea and Jeremy's reveal. Jimmy. I'm gonna get these J's together if it kills me. It's time for Jimmy and Chelsea's reveal, and before Jimmy goes to see Chelsea for the first time in his interview, confessional, diary room, whatever you want to call it, he's saying how excited he is to see her and he can't wait. And Jessica, and he stops. He's like, Jessica. He says Jess, and then he stops and he's like, Jessica. Oh, Chelsea. I said, ooh, now he done called the wrong name out, Lord. I cannot I cannot wait. I hope they bring it up at the reunion to see how she felt in that moment. And I hope he doesn't do it in person because I feel like he would do that in person. Chelsea is not the type of person that you would want to do that to. Not any woman, but Chelsea definitely has some insecurity issues there. So please don't do that, Jimmy. So the door is open and she is just so excited. And when I tell you guys, I feel like this is top three of the worst reveals of Love is Blind. This was the most unladylike, unprissy, dainty, cutesy. It just was not given. Chelsea was literally running to Jimmy, and she described it as a T-Rex. Me personally, it was given. She was given like it did look like her. She was a T-Rex. No offense, all offense. It did look like she was a T-Rex, but it was given like she was making like a dog sound. Like anybody who has dogs, you know how your dog, like if you're out playing with the dog and you throw in the ball and they run and they bring the dog back and they're like and they're panting. She was making that type of sound. Like, Chelsea, please next time just walk. Just walk. Because if it was me, I would be walking, I would be in my Beyonce song, honey. I would be in I'm That Girl. I would be strutting. Listen, I would not be running. No. Do it real sexy. Like, sultrous. That's how I would do it. So anyway, so they see each other for the first time. I do not feel like Jimmy was really, really happy. I think he was looking for Megan Fox because of that reference that she brought up when they were in the pods. And Chelsea is not an ugly young lady. She's not at all, but she does not look like Megan Fox. And I don't think she should have put that in his mind because his face was given, ooh. So we shall see as the season continues what happens there because I feel like he wanted to say something about it. But aside from that, I just felt like the chemistry was just not there between the two of them. It was very awkward, very awkward. And in my opinion, you continue to see that throughout the episode. So we immediately go over to Jeremy and Laura's reveal, and their reveal was very nice. Um, Jeremy got down on his knee and asked her to propose to him. When the doors opened, Laura was very happy. They both were very happy. He said in his confessional, he said that she was a beautiful girl. They did like a little quick peck a couple of times, and even when they sat down on the bench, he she kissed him, and Laura does these like headbutt, real hard kisses that I do not like. And he told her, he was like, do that again. And she did it again. And he was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure that I like that because this was it. Like, I'm one and done. I'm not doing it. He was like, I'm not playing around with this shit no more. So it seems like Jeremy is in it to win it. I hope. So that is our fifth couple, and they are finally off to the Dominican Republic. And I'm happy that they changed the location because they've been going to Mexico, I think, for like the last 5 seasons. So I'm glad that they have decided to go to the Dominican Republic, and we see them checking into their the resort and their suites, and they have private pools, and it's so nice. And the first couple, of course, we get is Jimmy and Chelsea, and I don't know why, but Jimmy is just like, it seems like he's always piling stuff onto Chelsea. As soon as they get there, he gets into the whole, why did you tell someone that I had told you I love you, because it got back to Jessica. Then she came and he was like, I never had a woman slam me like that before. And Chelsea was like, I didn't tell anybody. And he was like, well, it was told to me that you that you told someone, because how else did Jessica know? And she was like, I whispered it to Laura, but I didn't know that Laura was going to tell somebody. Like, I didn't know she was going to do that, especially with Jessica there. I would never do anything like that. And he was like, I believe you. And then he has to go into the reassuring her, because she's like, are you okay? I love you. She like always says I love you like so many times. Saying I love you is fine, but it's like, girl, you love him, he loves you. Like, chill, my goodness. And then he tells Jessica that she's pretty good looking. I didn't like that. Don't tell me I'm pretty good looking. Pretty, stop there. Pretty, dot. Like, you're pretty, because he said, I mean, you're pretty good looking. Like, you'll do. That's what it gave. I don't like that. So now we see Laura and Jeremy, and they are just making out in the bed. They're kissing, and then they're in the pool, and they have a good chemistry. I think they have a pretty good chemistry. It's something about Jeremy that I don't particularly like. I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't like his voice and the way he talks, and it's just something else. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think more to come with him. We'll see more, and I'll have my reason, because I can't quite put my finger on it right now. So next, we see Johnny and Amy, and they're by the pool, just chilling, hanging out, and he's, pointing out lizards that are right above their heads. And me, I would have been freaking out and getting the heck away from there. But it's just like a real short clip of them, and what is her name? Amy decides that in her confessional, she wants to tell us once more that Johnny is not the guy that she would usually go after. And I'm like, how many times are you going to tell us this? So I feel like this is going to be a problem down the line. It's going to come up again. And so next we get AD and Clay, and AD is in this beautiful blue, which is my favorite color, bathing suit, and her body looks amazing. They look great, and I have to say that Clay and AD have really good chemistry. Even though I am not a fan of Clay, they do have really good chemistry. And he's looking at her ring, and he asked her, like, it doesn't fit, the ring doesn't fit, and she's like, yeah, it fits. It's I think she said a 5. She was like, I could get it smaller, but I want to be able to take it off and put it on, take it off, or whatever, without any issues. And then he was like, so I don't get a ring? And she was like, yeah, you gonna get a ring. Like, oh boy, you gonna get a ring. You need a ring. And he said, oh, okay, cool. He was like, because, I want to be low key. I see a lot of people a lot of men who have like these colorful bands, but I want a gold band. She was like, oh, you want your gold band? I get you a band. I get you a band. She was like, I can get you a engagement ring. You want an engagement ring? He was like, I want a gold band. And she was like, okay. He said like 5 times. So 80, get that man a gold band. Next, we see Brittany and Kenneth, and they're brushing their teeth. They're getting ready for bed. And one thing that stuck out to me with them is Kenneth said, at the end of the day, I want us, he said, I would like for us to discuss three things: what went well, how you feel, and what you could change, what you could, I guess, possibly change for the day. And I thought that was really good. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to tell my baby that because I need to add that to my list. I like that. And she was like, well, there was no ick. I didn't find any ick, so we're good there. She said, but there is one thing that I did notice, and when you brush your teeth, you what did she say? She said you leave the water running. And I'm like, I do too. Do y'all turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth? I don't turn the water off. Maybe because my water bill is like a set price. I let the water run. So I didn't know that that was a big deal, but she says that. So, they laughed about that. And again, they are another couple that I like. They have good chemistry. I see them being a good match. Can't wait to see what happens with them. And last but not least, we have Chelsea and Jimmy, and they are also brushing their teeth and getting ready for bed. And he's telling her how he brushes his teeth so hard that he has his gums bleeding, and he has to have soft bristles, and how he has psoriasis. Yeah, cirrhosis is in your hair. I think that's what Beyonce just announced that she has. Psoriasis is what Kim Kardashian has. So I think it's psoriasis all over, or cirrhosis something else. I don't know, but it's psoriasis. Um, and he has like these little bumps all over his skin. So he was asking her for some lotion so he can put on them. And then, they go and get in bed and they start having their bed, pillow talk, and she is asking him, if he's okay. I'm like, that's their favorite. Are you okay? How are you? Are you okay? And I guess she can feel something like it's kind of off, but they definitely feel awkward still. Maybe it will change and it'll grow, but as of right now, they definitely feel very awkward to me. Hopefully that changes. So that was the episode. We have one more. I'll try to get that up tomorrow. And I'm really liking the series so far. Um, Again, my favorite is AD. I don't have a favorite couple right now. Maybe that might change, but I do not have a favorite couple. I love AD and I did love Trevor. I wish that Trevor and Chelsea would have stayed together and Jessica and Jimmy would have stayed together. And I just wonder how things would have panned out if that would have happened, but we will never know, right? So, do y'all have a favorite or a favorite couple? Let me know. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this channel, please. Share it with your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your kids, your barber, your cosmetologist, your esthetician. Share it with everybody. Tell everybody to get over to Pi Says and come down here and let's talk about Love is Blind. But until the next one, I'll see y'all later. Bye.